We're buffering. And I think we're live. With any luck at all. My end of this says we're live. Of course, my end of it has said we're live before, and it didn't. But I think maybe we've got the kinks out at our end. So now it's just letting the buffering catch up with us, which means sometimes I'm a little ahead of where you are. Good evening, Dana. Glad you're here. Wouldn't be Wednesday night without you. Let me know if you can see and hear me, would you? And then I'll know when I'm live. Need you. We are all in this together. Oh, we keep saying that, don't we? We're saying that. We are all in this together, and we certainly are all in this together. And we're all in this together because I need you to tell me when I'm live so I can stop just vamping and actually talk to you in a meaningful way. Loud and clear. Thanks, Dana. Good. All right. Then we are here. Here we are. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday. I love that title. I kind of wanted to fall back on the old Wednesday night live, do it Wednesday night Facebook Live. But you know, we've been there and done that. And a lot of things have changed since then. And yes, of course, it's Wednesday night. But you know, Wednesday matters. Wednesday, they used to call it hump day. I suppose some people still, we're probably dating ourselves by that. But it was kind of like it was the middle of the week and you had put a couple of days, 3 days at work already, and you had 2 more to go. And we needed Wednesday to get us revved back up again and ready for the rest of the week before we could get to Sunday and be spiritually nurtured. That's what we did on Wednesdays. That was the plan. It's a little different now. Well, it's a lot different now, isn't it? A lot of us aren't even going to work. Kirk, yes, we are on for tonight. Just go there, sweetie. Hold on a minute. Well, let Kirk know that we're on. Oh dear, I just lost my set. There you go. Yes. Well, that's not working at all. I can't do more than one thing at a time, clearly. I was answering. There. Okay. Having done that, here we are. So, I was saying, the old thing was Wednesday Night Live because it was hump day and we had been at work and we had 2 more days of work and then we had the weekend with all the chores. And so it was nice to have a midweek spiritual reminder, a refresher, a reconnection, if you will. Connect being a big word for me right now. This is different. Most people have not gone to work for the last days. Some people are going stir crazy. I feel so for those single mothers, especially, who are trying to work from home and homeschool their children, the children sane, which I can't imagine is easy right now. And the rest of us, we're not used to this. So Wednesday matters in a whole new way, I think, but for the same reasons. A chance to reconnect, a chance to remember, a chance to realign if we need to. You know, between Sunday we get all jazzed up. I get all jazzed up talking about God and spirit and potential and all of that. And then Monday hits, and Monday's not, too bad, and Tuesday's not too bad. By Wednesday, the week's heavy sometimes. And it's really wonderful for me to be able to be with you and listen to what that woman says and remember. So you were kind of my excuse for doing spiritual work long about the middle of the week. Wednesday matters. I hope it matters to you. It certainly matters to me. Hi, Kirk. I just read what you wrote. You're not lost at all, darling. You have come home. And I am glad that you are here. Very glad. I'm very glad we're all here. I'm very glad I'm here. There were times in the past when that wasn't always absolutely going to be true. But it is now. And we're all in this together. And this is Wednesday Matters. This thing that we're together right in this moment. I mean, I know there's that other big thing out there that they keep telling us we're all in this together. And certainly we are. Certainly we are. No one's life has gone untouched by what is going on out there in the world. But I'd like to think quite possibly if we check in here and recognize that we are all in this together, that it will make a difference in how we are out there and how we feel about what is going on out there, which is not a separate place, just a different place than this is. So we come in here to remember, to reconnect, not just with each other, as valuable and as wonderful as that is, reconnect with the higher truth that we know, that rings bells inside of us, that has us going, yes, yes, to reconnect with that, with the higher wisdom, with the still small voice, with your inner light, with God, with whatever you want to call it. It doesn't care. Whatever is meaningful for you, call it that. And just recognize that this is a space to connect with it, to remember who you are, to remember what highest good means for you, to remember that you are bigger, more powerful, more divine than any of the appearances in your life at any given moment. So, the old tradition on Wednesday nights was that I would go out into the world at on Wednesday and be inspired by something that I heard or saw or eavesdropped. I was really good at eavesdropping on Wednesdays. I'd go out in the world, or I would pick up, somebody would bring something into me and I'd go, oh, that's it, there's my talk. So I was working a crossword puzzle yesterday, avoiding something I was supposed to be doing. Taking a break is what I call it. I was taking a break. I was avoiding for a few minutes. And I was working a crossword puzzle, and some of the answers were a little beyond me in the moment. And I was getting frustrated because I'm usually pretty good at crossword puzzles. And I finally found one that was easy. And I was so thrilled to be able to. I work them in ink. I don't know why. It's a habit. I don't like doing them in pencil. I like doing them in ink, which sometimes leaves them looking really messy before I'm finished. Anyway, there I was, writing the answers down to the best of my ability. And I came to, I think it was 50 down. It was in the 50s. And it was making change for a 5. 6 letters. Now, some of you have already got it, don't you? Took me a little while because I was frustrated. By then I was thinking, I can't do this one. I don't know this. I'm out of practice. And then I saw it. Then I saw it. I mean, I really saw it like it was written down already, except that it wasn't. And the answer was in one. Making change for a 5. There's only one way to make change for a 5, and that's in ones, unless you do it in coins, and then it's really going to get messy, and it's certainly more letters than I had to work with. In ones. Change in ones. Now there's a spiritual message if ever I've heard one. Okay, so I have to bend things a little bit. But nonetheless, there it was. There's only one way to make change. In ones. In self. In one. That one being me, that one for you being you. There's really only one way to make change. So I thought, this could be a talk in there. Although in my mind, when I played it out, it didn't last more than about 30 seconds. So I thought, well, okay, maybe that's just a hint. I get hints all the time from the universe. Sometimes I catch them. Sometimes I realize there was a big hint and I missed it. But this one I was paying attention to. Change. So I was looking through this little booklet that I got from Unity's 30 Days to Fearless Living. And I've read through it a couple of times, and there's some wonderful articles in it. I highly recommend it to everybody. All you have to do is go to unity.org and ask for 30 Days to Fearless Living, and they'll send it to you for free. I mean, Unity's publications are amazing. Anyway, as I was leafing through it, there, right after my big aha over the word change, on day 23, was Saying Yes, Change by Joan Borysenko. Now, I've been reading Joan's stuff for decades, literally. But this one really, really hit me. And so I decided that this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. I'm going to borrow heavily from her, and in some places I may read directly what she says. But it's an amazing article, and it is so for our time. It is so perfect for today. She talks about the 3 stages of transformation. Now, I Googled stages of transformation, and I can tell you that upon which author you are reading, there are anywhere from 2 to 7, and probably more at 7. A lot of them in the 4 to 5 range. But she was talking specifically about the 3 stages of transformation that she has written about in Saying Yes to Change, Essential Wisdom for Our Journey. And the stages of transformation are these: separation, dwelling at the threshold, and the return. Got it? Separation. And what came to mind for me instantly, when I read the word separation, was isolation. All of us being separated out from the life we normally lead. Separated from our jobs, separated from our friends, separated from we usually move through the world. Separation. Absolutely. She says in that when she directed a mind-body clinic at Harvard Medical School, patients often told her that the day that they got their diagnosis with cancer or AIDS or whatever, they died to who they were. That something in them said, well, I'll never be quite the same. My life will never be quite the same. And she said the human response to all of that is fear. Normal human response is fear. Well, that makes sense. If we suddenly realize that everything we are familiar with, everything that we have gotten used to in our lifetimes, everything that we call our life is never going to be the same, well, that's cause for a deep breath, isn't it? If it's not going to be the same, what is it going to be? Now we're talking about the abyss. Now we're talking about stepping into a place of total unknown. And it is natural when going into a place we've never been before to be a little bit afraid, especially if we know absolutely nothing about it. So the first step in the journey of transformation is separation. Well, I thought we've all just done that, haven't we? We've all just separated out from those we've known. Even those people who are not self-isolating, those people who still in jobs, who still have to go to work, their lives are not the same. They've stepped into the same unknown place that all of us have. We just all feel it differently and are experiencing it at different levels. I'm not saying that my experience of self-isolating, and I'm not even isolated, really. I still have Cat with me. I have 7 pets with me. Try to be isolated with 7 pets. I'm quite certain that the doctors and the nurses and the paramedics and the people who are out there working and risking their lives for the rest of us are experiencing a much deeper sense of separation, even though they are with more people and doing the job they've always done, because they're not doing it the same way. They have to do it differently. So there's the first step in transformation, which is, in fact, what? Change. The second step she calls dwelling at the threshold. And she mentions that the anthropologist Victor Turner, who identified the 3 stages of transformation, termed this time between no longer and not yet. I am no longer this, but I am not yet that. It is the caterpillar in the chrysalis saying, I am no longer a caterpillar. I can feel that. I can feel the change. I can feel the pressure on my body. I can feel that things will never be the same, and yet I am not yet what I am to become. And my guess is the caterpillar is clueless about what it is about to become. And so, what's going on here? What will become of me? What will become of me? Having died to who we were and born to who we will become, on the threshold of transformation, at the edge of the great unknown. And in that place, Poroshenko says, in that place is where ordeals happen. She doesn't say frustration, but I'm fear and frustration. In that moment, in those moments, in that time at the threshold, all kinds of interesting things happen. Our personal prejudices show up, our personal fears show up, allies appear. We want, in many ways, to reach back and pull as much of the good of the past forward with us. We suddenly realize what's important to us. We are suddenly aware that there is a way to be and a way not to be. And have an opportunity in that time at the threshold to claim for ourselves a new reality, a divine reality, if we will. It is a time that calls for change. And change is already occurring, like the chrysalis, all around and about. We can feel ourselves changing. What shall we change into? Who shall we be? Who shall we become? We are at the door, she writes, the threshold of new potential. This is the great unknown, where ordeals are faced, allies appear, and the gifts of trusting in and surrender to a larger divine reality are claimed. So, if we are to surrender and accept the gifts of this new divine reality, what shall we claim for ourselves? Who shall we choose to be? There are lessons in this time of separation for me. I'm sure for all of us, everyone I've talked to is saying yes, but what might they be? Who will we choose to be when we walk out of our doors? When we can go with the old, but I don't think you have to look very far to recognize that the old wasn't working really well. Can we, in fact, take the best of the old with us? Can we take our gifts and our love, our friends, and our wisdom, and the lessons perhaps that we have learned and maybe not quite integrated into our lives? Can we take all of that of ourselves a new person? We are in the awkward stage. We see it in our children. We often remember that somebody once saw it in us. We call it the awkward stage, the stage between being a real cute little kid and a together adult. That stage when we're dropping everything and gang and trying to find the answers, and the awkward stage. Well, my friends, I believe we are right now collectively, globally, in an awkward stage. We cannot, will not be who we are. How could we be? The world is not what it was before. And now they are talking about a second wave that may be even worse than the first wave of this plague, for lack of a better. Shall we be fearful and pull in like the caterpillar thing to become anything more and say, I'm scared? Or shall we say there is an adventure and I will decide who I will be and how I will be. And it's awkward right now. Yes, of course it is. It is uncomfortable. We are transforming what we were before into what we may yet become. And what that is determined by the decisions that we make now. Are we willing to be awkward? Are we willing to be... Hi, Steve. Hallelujah. No, honey, it's not just you. Are we willing to be brave and clumsy and do it wrong and learn to do it right and perhaps laugh a little at each other and at ourselves? Are we willing to be re-educated? Are we willing to be new in the world? And we're going to be awkward. The world is calling us to be something we have never been before, which is a whole new stage of development. Will we answer the call? Will we be what life intends us to be? Will we be courageous? Will we? Or will we keep fighting for that it was? Will we keep fighting to hold on to who we were before, what we did before, how we did it before, in the vain hope of making of making the world what it was for us before, because that was comfortable, which is kind of like the caterpillar trying to crawl out of the chrysalis and stay a caterpillar. So you can't. Chosen or not, the transformation has begun. Selected consciously or not, you are at the threshold. We are at the threshold. We didn't ask for this. Nobody asked for this. Nobody mind would have asked for this. Yet here we are, globally. Who shall we be when we have passed through the awkward stage? We shall be who we choose to be, who we decide to be, who we dream of being. The final stage of transformation is the transformation itself and rebirth. It is the spirit, the mind of the caterpillar, having changed, having gone through the fear and the physical transformation and the awkwardness, suddenly feeling the urge to move forth in clearly a new way, because his body isn't even the same anymore. Feeling the urge to go back out into the world, to open the door of this shell that is formed around, and step out into the world, recognizing that it probably will not look the same because he's not even looking through the same eyes anymore. That day is coming for all of us. the day that we can open the doors and step back out into the light. And I'm not talking about just walking out the front door and saying, that this morning I walked out the front door. We've got a huge patio. I could stay even at the edge of the patio and still be far more than 6 feet away from anybody that's walking by the house. It was beautiful out today. Butterfly kind of day. It was warm even early this morning. The sky was blue. There wasn't a cloud that I could see in the sky. It was just... And there I was in it. In a moment of just sheer heaven. And I found myself thinking, this must be what a caterpillar feels like when it breaks through the chrysalis. And I kind of wanted to spread my wings and fly. Kind of wanted to be new in this beautiful day. And I realized, of course, that it's not for me to grow wings and fly. But it is in a metaphorical sense. I can choose to try to return to myself, which is going to be really awkward. Or I can choose to return to my true self, my divine self, my spiritual self, and recognize that that is not powerless, does not need to live in fear, is not dumb, is not limited, has unlimited potential. I can make that choice. And I can live with that potential. Or I can go fighting and screaming back into the house and demand that the world return to what was for me. And I can demand all I want, and it's not going to do that. But I have that choice. I can be miserable if I choose. Or I can be elated if I choose. I can say I am made new. I am transformed. I have the soul butterfly. And my world is made new by my decision to be new in it. Scripture says, behold, I make all things new. And that's not a one-time thing. That's a forever thing. In every moment, behold, I make all things new. And I can walk out onto my patio in the sunshine and say, behold, today I make all things new. By my choices, by my choice of experience, by my choice of words, by my choice of actions. Behold, I make all things and better. Most people would agree that a butterfly is an improvement on a caterpillar, except the people who used to hang with the caterpillar. So some of the people you used to hang with might not much appreciate you being a butterfly, especially if they have not yet gone through the transformation. But I think everyone's going to go through it this time, one way or another. Some kicking and screaming, some angry, and some jubilant. Boroshenko closes this little article with these words. Life is a journey into the unknown, which is constant. The challenge is to pay attention, to heal what needs healing and grieve what we've lost as a testimony to how precious it has been. Staying faithful to the certainty that we live in a spiritually meaningful reality. We are called by change to authentic trust and surrender. Answering that call, we live in peace, joy, and service right now. This beautiful and holy world. It is a beautiful world. It's frightening. And we are right now, along with Eve, going through an awkward stage. We know what was, but we're meant to be more. That change, that transformation, is rarely graceful and beautiful. It is more often awkward, strange, and somewhat frightening. But who might we be? Who might we be becoming? There is a lot in the world that needs our love and care. And I think a lot of us have been sleeping. A lot of us just didn't know. We have time now to study. That's a good thing. What are you interested in the world? What calls to you? What speaks to your spirit? What speaks to your soul? Saying to you, this is your job. Come do this. Go do that. Go do that. I know that there are a lot of things, a lot of causes that would grab for our attention. A lot of them. Just think about all the mail that you get in the month of November from causes that say, give to us, give to us, give to us. And I don't know about you, but I usually reach a point where I think I can't do all of them, so I must choose. And that's a good point to be at, the point at which we realize we must choose. Because if we choose, if we get our head out of the way and let our heart speak, we will hear what it is we are to do. There's a tarot card called Judgment. Some call it Judgment Day. First time I saw that, I thought, I don't know if I want to go there. But then I read up on it. It's become actually my favorite card. I get very excited when I see it. Because it's not, it pictures Judgment Day and Gabriel blowing his horn and people rising up out of their coffins, which is a little scary. Because they all look really pale. You don't get much of a tan, I guess, being in a coffin. At any rate, I digress. Back to the point at hand, which is that the card is about answering the call. Not the call of Gabriel. The call of Spirit. Answering what it is you are called to be or do in this world. Rising up out of your sleep. It's a great metaphor. Rising up out of your sleep, even your permanent sleep, according to the card, and answering, what are you called to do? So think about what I've been saying tonight. You've been separated out, haven't we all? You've been separated out and given a gift of time to think. And probably more stillness than you're used to, which is sometimes very uncomfortable. But use that time. Use that time to go within, to say, what is it I'm called to do? What does Spirit within me want me to become? What causes speak to my heart? What things in the world am I bothered by that need to be straightened out? And I know some of you are saying, what can one person do? John Denver answered that for you decades ago. He's saying what one man can do is change the world and make it work again. His song was a tribute to Buckminster Fuller, who made a difference. Will you? You don't have to make a difference on a world scale, although you might. Who knows where the wings of the butterfly will take you? Who knows what things you might accomplish? My guess is that every one of you today is already in a place you never dreamed you could be in earlier in your life. And I don't mean locked in your houses. I mean what you have accomplished in this world. We all rise constantly. We all transform constantly. We all, unlike the caterpillar, keep going back in and transforming again and coming out again, don't we? But here's your opportunity to do it at the highest possible level, at the spiritual level. Use this time to go within, to listen to that still small voice. Some people actually have a still small voice, a quiet little voice that kind of talks like this, I think, and sounds spiritual. I don't. Oh, I have the voice all right, but it doesn't sound like Mother Teresa of Avila, or any of those ladies. My still small voice is kind of loud and sassy. But I love her. I've come to know her now, so I recognize her, and she sounds like me. But she sounds like me with attitude. And I like her attitude. It's like, I'm here and you're going to pay attention. And wow. What does your still small voice sound like? If it sounds like somebody else's voice, that's not it. Tell mother or your second grade school teacher or your ex to get out of your head. That you're looking for the still small voice and you know they're not it. And keep going. Keep eliminating voices if you have to, until the one that says, I am that. I am the best for you. I am the call of spirit. Rise up. Rise up when you find that voice. Listen to what it has to say and do it. You can. You are a spiritual being who is absolutely unlimited, except by the limitations that you put upon yourself. Stop doing that. If you tell yourself you can't, you can't. That's it. But if you tell yourself you can, it may be awkward. You may have to go yet another awkward stage. I've been through so many awkward stages, I'm surprised my skin isn't breaking out. It's awkward being new. It's awkward doing things, thinking things, and being things we've never been before. But the reward is amazing. Be that. Be that. Or head in that direction. Here's a secret. Head in that direction. Head in the direction of where your voice is called to be. Head in the direction of being a butterfly. If that's not what you're meant to be, trust me, some doors will close and other doors will open along the way, and find yourself in a place you never even imagined you could be. But you'll know it's where you belong. Growing up, I wanted to be a lot of different things. I even wanted to be a priest at one point till I was told I couldn't be. By a nun who thought I might be a nun, and I wasn't me. That guy wasn't called to that at all. I wanted to speak. Wanted to talk to God. I thought that was way cool. But I also wanted to be Lois. So when I got to college, I was a journalism major, and all the way through high school, I was a journalism major because I thought being Lois Lane would be cool. I wanted to be Perry Mason because I thought it'd be very cool to argue cases in court. I wanted to be that kind of lawyer too. I did not want to do, organizational work or corporate. I wanted to be Perry Mason. I was real clear on that. I also wanted to appeal, but it occurred to me very early on that my legs weren't long enough. And I gave up on the idea of being a priest because I was told I couldn't be. So I kind of settled for Lois Lane for a while. And then life took me through some interesting doors. Several awkward stages. But I'm now back to that first love and this desire and that thing that the still small voice was saying to me all along. And I wish I could remember that nun's name, although I'm sure she's probably not with us any longer because she wasn't terribly then. But wherever she is, I want her to know she was wrong. I could be a priest. I just had to walk through some doors until I found out there was a new way of being that. So I leave you with this tonight. What do you want to be? What are you called to be? What does spirit in you want to express as? You have this golden opportunity right now to go within. You have some free time. We all have some free time. You have some time. If you don't have some time, I'm wrong about that. Let me be wrong. Find the time. Make the time to go within and listen. And eliminate all the other voices till you get to the one that says, this you can be. Follow me. And be willing to go into the chrysalis. Would be willing to take some more classes, go back to school, get retrained. Awkward for a while until you are ready to fly. It's not so awful being awkward. Some of the most people I know are awkward, but they're transforming. And I know that in their transformation, they're going to change my world for the better, and I am very, very grateful for that. So here we are. I'm going to pray because And I invite you to join me. Let us step into the great unknown together. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Sometimes closing out the world makes the inner world clear. Or soft focus at least, so that you're not distracted by what is going on around you. We are at the threshold. You and I and God. We are at the time between no longer and not yet. And this is the great unknown, but not unknowable. And what is here is unlimited possibility. What is here is the pure essence of creation. And just as on that first day, words that we speak now will matter. Words that we speak now will begin the creation of a whole new world. The words that we speak now, that which we claim for ourselves now, will turn the lights on and illuminate the darkness and draw to us all manner of worldly things to populate the new world that is becoming. Here, now, on the threshold, make all things new. And there will be angels to guide and direct us. There will be angels to protect us. There will be allies to help us lift up our arms when they are heavy and tired. There will be welcoming hearts to guide us into this whole new world of our creation. There is love here, and joy and beauty. A whole new world we create by the words that we speak and the choices that we make from this point of creation, this threshold on the edge of a whole new world. And we are ready for it. We may be a little awkward in our becoming. We are prepared to laugh at ourselves, to cry a little perhaps once in a while. But to become that which we are meant even though in this moment we may not know exactly what that is. But we rise up for it. We answer the call. We hear the voice of Spirit saying, "Who shall I send?" And we respond, "Him. Send me." In deepest gratitude for the new world coming, for the beauty of it, for love in it. For the beautiful planet that is our gift, that now we will care for. For the heart will open to us and welcome us into their embrace. For the journey through this great unknown, we are deeply grateful. And we claim for ourselves a divine reality. For ultimately, we have returned in spirit and in mind to the place where we have begun. And in our becoming, we have found our true selves. And God. And so now we have only to let it be. Amen. I love you all. I do. And I am so happy that we are on this journey together. It is time to take action, I think. Spiritual action, which begins in the heart and the mind and involves listening. So I invite you this week to listen, to hold your time with Spirit as sacred. Make time for it. It is waiting for you. I remember once when I was on a retreat sitting by a little creek, river. There was water there and a lot of trees. And I was sitting on the bank, and my first reaction was, "I'm sitting here, God, where are you?" And that voice said to me, "I've been here all along waiting. Where have you been? You are never more than a thought and acceptance, an idea away from Spirit. More than one surrender away from creation." So let us surrender tonight to the way that it is, because it is the way. There are doors to walk through, there are decisions to make for all of us. I am happy to call you my friend. I am happy that you've called me here. I'll be back, same place, same page, Sunday at noon, and again next Wednesday, because Wednesday matters. Please join, invite your friends. You can share the video if you want. Please do. Delighted if you would share the video. And let me know how I can support you. Just leave me a little note over in the chat side, or, well, you know how to do that. Probably better than I do. Let me know. Let me know that you're here. Know how I can support you. Let me know what I can pray for. I'm more than happy to do all of that. Because we're going to change the world for good. Thank you for being here tonight. I'll see you Wednesday. Bring friends. The more we bring into the family, the better this world's going to be for all of us. See you Sunday. And if you can't make it Sunday, see you next Wednesday. Much love, blessings, and go with God. Because you can go no other way.